Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're going to review Dune Part 2. And first I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video, MoviePass. So MoviePass is back and it's better than ever. It's a subscription-based ticketing service and I've been using it for a few months now and I just think it's great. And they have this neat new black card and it feels great and it's very easy to use. And unlike your AMC A-List or your Regal Unlimited, you can use MoviePass at almost any theater and it is very simple to use. They now go off of a points-based system, so you pay every month, and that will vary depending on the market that you live in, and you'll get a certain amount of points to use for movies. And the price in terms of points for the movies varies depending on the day of the week that you go to the theater, the time of the showing, and how recently the movie has been released. So what you'll do is you'll go into the app, you'll click the movie that you want to see, unlock the card, and then pay. And you can also pick the online option for just a few more points if you don't want to wait in line. So again, thank you to MoviePass. So Dune Part 2 is an epic sci-fi fantasy film directed by Denis Villeneuve, starring Timothée Chalamet, Jessica Ferguson, Zendaya, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Austin Butler, and many, many other names. And this is the second half of Dune that came out in 2020. And this movie follows Paul Atreides as he is living with the Fremen and he attempts to get revenge on the murder of his father, Duke Leto Atreides, and also his struggles against becoming the Messiah to the Fremen people. So the time has come. The time has come. We're finally getting to see the second half of this epic fantasy that Denis Villeneuve wanted to create. I do feel that the first film, the way it ended, of course, it just felt incomplete, so you really need to see the second half of the story to see the entire thing and how it plays out. I did not read the book. I shouldn't say I did not read the book. I've read like the first 10 pages of the book, and I'm glad I didn't because there were some surprises in this film that I'm glad I got to see for the first time and I didn't know they were coming. So I like that aspect of it. Denis Villeneuve is a fantastic director. You just look at his track record, starting back with, Prisoners, Sicario. And when you get to this film, it is definitely in his wheelhouse. He likes those slow burns that lead to just more than just being like a popcorn type film. He leaves you with questions. He leaves you with an experience, and I praise him for that. He did a very good job directing this film, and his future is as a director is only going to improve. The score, of course, is magnificent. You got the great Hans Zimmer being a part of this film. Anything that he touches is going to have a great score. So the score is great. Where this film really shines is the cinematography done by Greg Fraser. He's done films like Rogue One. Of course, he did the first Dune. He is just so great at his job. There's a specific scene in the movie that I would like to highlight, and that is the Harkonnen homeworld of Getty Prime. So you go to this place, they have a black sun. Don't know the physics behind how that actually works, but since they have a black sun, whenever you're out in direct sunlight, everything else is in black and white. So when they go into this gladiator arena with Austin Butler's character, all the people, everything that you see is in black and white. But as soon as you're out of the sunlight, it's back in normal color. So I like the juxtaposition of those palettes, so to speak, and how they made that scene work. It was great. Of course, the deserts on Arrakis, the real locations that they used in the Middle East, like Abu Dhabi and Italy and places like that, I think it worked out well. I really like seeing the story play out. Like I said, there were some surprises that I did not see coming. There are some actors who I did feel had smaller roles than I expected, namely Austin Butler's character. I really thought he'd be in more of the film, but his role as he's like the secondary villain is a lot smaller than I expected. The same thing goes for Florence Pugh. She is the daughter of the Emperor, and she has a few key scenes, but she really does not play an overall major part of the story like I thought she would. And then you have actors who appear that I didn't realize was in the film, like Léa Seydoux. She plays a small role as one of the members of the Bene Gesserit. You got Anya Taylor-Joy, who pops up in a cameo that I think is supposed to tease where this story is supposed to go in the future, but it was really nice seeing her. It is a very tiny role. Like I said, it's just a cameo. But yeah, it's just like other people who show up, you're like, oh wow, I didn't realize they were in this movie. So that was nice to see. So in terms of performances that stood out to me, I really only have two. Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. He's great. This kid is a wonderful actor. Of course, I reviewed another one of his films earlier this week in Wonka. He is going to have a bright future ahead of him. I really like the ferocity and the, how do I say it, the gravitas he brings to Paul, the anger, the fear, the hopelessness, and the strength. It is all there. So many conflicting feelings that he put in this performance, and it is great. The second performance that I think is really good is Javier Bardem as Stilgar. He is almost like a comic relief, although he is very serious. This character really does believe in the prophecy. He believes in Paul as the Muad'Dib, as the Messiah. And like there are scenes with him and Paul together where Paul's like, I'm not your Messiah, but I will fight alongside you. And he goes and tells the rest of the people, see, he's too humble to say he's the Messiah. The theater, that's one of the only times people really laughed out loud. And you wouldn't expect that kind of comedy from a film of this nature, but they pulled it off fantastically. Now the film is a bit long. It is very close to 3 hours, but it does not feel long. So I think they did a good job with the pacing. The beginning of the film is more set up. You get to see Paul living with the Fremen and learning their ways, and it really does build to a head towards the final third of the movie where you get more of your action scenes and your big battle. Now, I feel like this could be a modern day Lord of the Rings type of situation, and I think that's what the audience might get from it. Now, is this going to be a $1 billion movie? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if this is cinema shifting. I don't know if this is a movie you need to run out and see multiple times, but it is very good, and it is better than the first one, being that it's the conclusion to that story. So in terms of a score, I'm probably going to give it a decent 7.7 out of 10. I think that's where I'm going to put it on my scale, even though I do think, yeah, it is an enjoyable, well-made film. I don't know if it's going to be something that's going to change the landscape of cinema, if that is a good way to express it. But I am interested in seeing a sequel. Denis Villeneuve has stated that he wants to adapt Dune Messiah as the third movie. Whether that would be one movie or broken into two, just like this one, time will tell. I'm sure no matter how much movie this money makes, they're probably going to make the third one. I think they did a great job, you know, keeping the budget low, especially by directing it over 2 movies, that they can do that. But for those who have read the books, after Dune Messiah, the story starts to get a little weird. I, of course, ran to the Wikipedia page as soon as I got home from the screen and just did a little deep dive into where this story's supposed to go to see how much of it I think I want to see on film. So yeah, I feel like they could do Dune Messiah, but after that, they should probably stop. Maybe focus on some prequels or something like that. I know they got that Bene Gesserit prequel TV series coming on HBO Max, so they should probably do more stuff like that. And one thing I don't want to leave out is Oscar predictions. Usually when movies are released earlier in the year, their chances of winning an Oscar is minimized, but I think Dune might be safe, and there might be a re-release later this year, which would be smart. And in terms of what Oscar is going to take home, cinematography seems like a good pick for this movie, and with them adding a new category of best ensemble for the casting directors, I think the casting director could definitely win an Oscar for this film because the cast really just works so well together. Score as well. Score is definitely a good one. Hans Zimmer is just great, so I'm not sure if it'll win. We'll have to see what else comes out this year, but it'll definitely be nominated. I can definitely say that much. Sound mixing, sound editing, you know, the technical awards. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for this movie review. Remember, you can find the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook page. Anything and everything Flipfrog, Flixfrog, Flipfrog Books, make sure that you subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.